You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning and howdy ho. Mr. Beaver is trying to join us. It looks like his camera is not working just yet. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make it because he did have a couple of things he had to take care of this morning, and we were going to try and get something recorded last night to air today, but looks like he was able to join to a degree. At least your eager Beaver is present. We'll wait and see if he's able to actually join the conversation. So welcome to the show. It is August 9th, 2023. It is my mom's birthday today, so I will be joining my mom for some cake and Lord knows what else after that. Probably just cake and cookies, maybe a cup of tea. Um, that's nothing extravagant, nothing crazy. She just doesn't want anything crazy. She's like, no. After 75, I'm just sort of like, yeah, we'll have cake and acknowledge the fact that I'm still here. Okie dokie, Mom. Happy birthday, Mom, if you're watching. I will call you in a bit, and I will see you, of course, this evening at my sister's place. Your daughter, my sister, that place where we go because she has a pool. She does. Not a hot tub yet, though, so that's the next purchase, I guess. I don't know. They got some stuff they got to, anyway, take care of. Housing stuff is expensive, as anyone who lives in a house knows. So first off, let's thank our sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. They've been with us since the very beginning, and we are very grateful for them. I don't know what episode this is, and to be quite honest with you, I'm not even that concerned about it, mostly because I'm going to try and do the best I can for you while flying solo. And I'd prefer it when my compadre, my compatriot, Mr. Beaver is here. He says he can hear you, but he can't get the camera to work. He's using a different computer. So he's having issues. Oh, yeah, he's having issues right now. So I can see he's just typing me a message. So he obviously has clicked in, but for some reason his camera's not working, and he doesn't have a functioning microphone at the moment. So we'll just wait and see. What I'm gonna do is just click you off there. You're still here, sir. You can still hear us. You can still see us. Well, us being me. That's my sleeping bag in the background. I got to put that away after I aired it out. Today is it's a sunny Wednesday morning, and forecast wise, it's going to be 27 and hot today here in the nation's capital of Ottawa, Canada. That's for folks who are tuning in from other parts of the world. This is Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Canada's capital, which was occupied for 3 weeks in February, 2022 by a horde of ignorance. But we'll get to those folks in just a couple of seconds after we go with probably, in my mind, the best troll I've seen thus far. And well, if you saw it, if you know, you know. And it was pretty epic, if you ask me. Here it is. It's let's see if I can get this photo to download. There we go. I'm going to get it to save, and then I'll load it up in just a second. Ultimate Troll is what I'm calling this one, because well, if you saw it, you know it's sort of a backlash. I'm like, this is pretty brilliant, actually. Um, so we discussed at length yesterday how MGTOW incels, con right-wing nut jobs, were incensed over the fact that the Prime Minister of Canada wore a pink T-shirt, a pink hoodie, and his son wore a pink shirt, and they said we're Team Barbie after attending the Barbie film, the Barbie movie, which is the biggest movie in the world right now. So, not to be undone, he did this, balancing things out. Oppenheimer with Ella. So he attended the Oppenheimer film with his eldest daughter. So this is just brilliant trolling. Basically saying, yeah, our families, having a rough time, but we still love one another. We still care for one another, and we're going to spend some time together. But at the same token, say basically it was just a slap in the face to everybody who dumped on him and his son for going to see the Barbie movie. I think it's just brilliant on his part. I mean, really, it's a backhanded slap across the face to all the haters. And I'm here for it. I really am. Now, a second ago, I said I'd get to there Mr. Beaver's trying to get his camera on. I don't know. Do you have your microphone working, sir?
Is it working?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's not real loud, but you are audible, so this is good. This is good.
All
We
right.
can hear you. Maybe I don't know if you need it. Let me see. I'll turn your volume up a little bit here because I do have function control over that. I can hear you though, so that's good. Don't worry about the camera. It's okay. To have you hearing voices is just as important. And we got some stuff to say, right? I have a video here I want to launch. And where is it? Oh, I had it a second ago. Where did it go? There it is. I had a video I wanted to launch, and it addresses what we talked about just yesterday and other things along with it. So let's just have a look at this clip here. This is from @tome.travel on the TikTok. Let's listen to what this gentleman has to say, shall we? I don't know what just happened there. Well, let's try that again. It seems to be adding up in a very strange manner. Okay. There we go. Now
Subjected to the fourth I have just been subjected to the fourth really derogatory comment about Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in the last 5 days. Now, this is all tied into the fact that tragically his family is separating, and it is tragic. They're public figures. His wife is well known. They have 3 children. And of course, he's the longest serving leader of a G8 nation. All that noted, all of these really nasty comments that I'm hearing are coming from Americans who watch Fox News. Now, if I ask them, how is he elected? They don't know. What is a parliamentary system? They don't know. Can he be impeached? No, he can't, by the way. They don't know. What are his policies? They don't know. But this all goes back to when the so-called Freedom Convoy invaded the national capital of Canada. Now, this was a fringe movement. There's no doubt about it. And I'll tell you why it's a fringe movement, because 93% of Canadians were vaccinated. That means the anti-vax crowd couldn't be more than about 7% of the population. In amongst the protesters, there were people carrying Confederate flags, people carrying swastikas, and that was the crowd that took over our national capital. But who supported them internationally? Fox News, the Murdoch media once again, got behind the protesters and against Trudeau. In fact, one commentator actually called him a douchebag. These people are not aware of international news. Now, they support Putin over Ukraine generally. They seem to think that that Ukraine is led by, what did they call it? A homosexual Nazi supporter or something? I mean, it's just unbelievable. Yet all they know really about their northern neighbor, best friend, trading partner, is that Trudeau stood up more or less against the truckers. I mean, I think could have stood up a little bit more firmly. Doug Ford, who's the Premier of Ontario, was in fact the one who brought in the special legislation to move them out. But of course, they don't know any of this. All they know is what they're fed by this one organization, which has for decades now taken charge of this populist media system in the States, in the UK, in Australia. It is dangerous. It is wrong. And please show some goddamn respect.
You know, I couldn't argue with that statement. He's dead bang on. It's a single-sided news channel that all they ever do is spew garbage and hate. And here's the thing. They never actually get anything factually correct. Never. Because it's always got to be slanted a certain specific way so that they can support their hate-filled, racist rhetoric. Yeah, I said racist. You've ever watched the Fox News show, you'd know what I'm talking about. The Fox station, channel, Fox News, whatever the hell it is. I can only watch it for about 5 minutes at a time before my stomach turns and I need to take a Gravol to keep from vomiting because it's just putrid garbage. Everything is painted with a brush that forms the narrative they want you to see. Let me say that again. Everything is painted with the brush to form the narrative that they want you to see. They don't believe in facts. Any journalist that was worth their salt has already left long ago. They had one for a while, and he kept coming on the show. I can see his face. I can't think of his name right now. And he would say, this isn't happening. This isn't happening. Whatever the current statement was by Hannity or Tucker Carlson or any of those other white supremacist talking head privileged assholes say. So yeah, it's not a news station. They even said so. They said they're an entertainment station. So if you watch it to get your news, you might as well just watch The Daily Show for your news. Because at least they give you both sides of the story there. And everybody gets attacked equally, in a comedic manner, I might add, but nonetheless, everyone gets attacked equally. Now, the next thing, we will dive into the whatever the blowback will be for the Oppenheimer screening with that I just showed you the photo of with Justin Trudeau when he has attended the film with his daughter Ella. We'll get into that. We'll talk about that tomorrow when there's the two of us and we've got some good back and forth to go about it. But the other thing I wanted to address today was, I did retweet, I guess they call it repost now, an article or a thread from Sunshiny. And let me see, it's a long thread, but it gets right into the heart of the matter when it comes right down to, and I'm going to put a link in the chat here for those of you who'd like to read this. This is the from Thread Reader. This is the unroll of the entire tweet thread. It's long, but it's detailed. It's from at Sunshiny, at SUNNSHIINY. You can click on the link in the chat there to have a look at it. And here's the thing. I'm going to read a little bit of it to you. I mean, it's a long thread, so I don't have time for the whole thing. Hang on, something here. Okay, there we go. My computer was borking for some bizarre reason. So it starts off with, this is why some people have so little respect for our current legitimate authority. Servitude? No. The Canadian people do not elect servants who owe us their servitude. Where's this idea of leadership coming from? My favorite topic, religious faith. From Sarah Fisher. Those in quotation marks, political office have erroneously been elevated to a stature of artificial superiority, when in fact the honor embodied in that position should be one of servitude. We need more politicians who understand this and who will genuinely work to serve the electorate. Servitude. Noun, the state of being a slave or completely subject to someone more powerful. Law, archaic, the subjugation of property to an easement. Late Middle English via Old French from Latin. Servitudo, from service. Slave. Servitude, noun. Indian slaves were bought and sold and kept in servitude. Slavery, enslavement, bondage, subjugation, subjection, domination. Literally, thraldom, historical, serfdom, vassalage. Antonyms, freedom, liberty. That's from dictionary.com. From Merriam-Webster. Servitude, a condition in which one lacks liberty, especially to determine one's course of action or way of life, a right by which something such as a piece of land owned by one person is subject to a specified use or enjoyment by another. Well, I mean, holy Hannah. Let's get right into the crux of it here, shall we? Give me a sec here while I have to move something. My computer is misbehaving, and usually it's easier when I have somebody else here on the line. There we go. I got it fixed. So I'm going to share the screen with you in a sec, and I'm going to put it on so you'll get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. And let me just move this here so I can read it better. Many will overlook these comments and fail to comprehend their intended meaning. But think of Poliver. Does he embody characteristics of a servant to the people? No. His arrogance is obvious for one who hasn't actually achieved anything. His nasal condescension is legendary. Servitude is what the Christian nationalist movement demands from its leaders. Servitude to their economic and social policy demands to keep white, Anglo-Saxon, Christian, Canadian nationalists in power and in control of the resources and economy. That's what they mean by stating Trudeau lacks servitude and exudes superiority. To CBC supporters, Christian nationalist voters, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau must be denigrated because he is not subservient to traditions and belief. There's another article in the thread. There are three types of authority as described by Max Weber: charismatic, traditional, legal, / rational. Or / I guess. PMJT has all three, naturally, and because the Liberal Party of Canada is the duly elected party that governs. Sarah Fisher is referencing charismatic authority and traditional authority dynamics that are being employed by the authoritarian movement in Canada and across the globe. It's where the power of people like PP originates. It's a really disturbing thread, and you need to pay attention to this. I strongly recommend you click on the link in the chat. I'll repost it again shortly. You need to read through it from start to finish. It's long. It's long-winded, and I don't have the time to go through the whole thing here because that would be the only subject today. And I'd like to get to a couple other quick things before I have to head out. But the thing is this: these are not good people. As we have said time and time and time again, they're not good people. They do not have your best interests in mind. They are Christo-fascists, as I've said before. I did not coin that term. I'm not sure who did. But it is dead accurate. It is a bullseye, a home run. They are Christo-fascists. They want white Christian movement to take over the government of this Canada. They want a theocracy, not a democracy. They're not good people. They want Gilead writ large. They seem to think The Handmaid's Tale is a handbook. It is not. It is not a handbook. It is not a guidebook. It is a work of fiction, but written as a warning of what could possibly be. And the reason I say that is because Margaret Atwood, when she wrote the book, she looked at movements around the world. And in many cases, what she wrote about was actually happening. It just wasn't Christian. So you need to pay attention, and you need to share this thread with as many people as you can to let them know. CBC has written about this a couple of times recently, and we've brought it up on this program. David Wallace warned us about this. He continues to warn us about this. This is not a small movement. This is not a grassroots movement. This is a movement that has a lot of money and wants to wield all the power. And what will they do? Well, they'll rewrite our Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. They will do what what Stephen Harper started to do and say, you won't recognize Canada when I'm done with it. They will strip you of your rights. Women, you will no longer have dominion over your own bodies. You won't. It's only a matter of time before they make contraception illegal. They will take away, of course, abortion will disappear because, like I said, women, you won't have rights over your own bodies. They will take away contraception because they need more human capital to keep the machine going. You know, what falls next is same-sex marriage. Shortly after that, they'll outlaw the ability to actually be a gay person living your life as you wish. They'll send people scrambling back into the closet, including many of their own clergy. But they don't care as long as they get their way. These are not good people. We need to wake up the country. People need to understand. I said it yesterday. If you are not a politically involved person, if you could care less, if you could not care less about politics, you better start caring. You better start caring. And you're absolutely right there, Alan. Iran was a very different nation pre-1979. The Islamic Revolution destroyed that country. It absolutely destroyed it. Religion has zero place in politics. You want to practice your religion? Feel free to do so, but don't force it upon others. It's not cool. It's not democratic. It's not an example of freedom. And I agree with you on this one, Pasta Gabe. Let's eliminate all tax-exempt status for all organized religion. Yes, pay your damn taxes, because right now, these religious zealots who are taking over our democracy, starting with municipal civics, they're putting people in school boards where they try and rewrite and change the curriculum. Change it to their liking. They don't want critical race theory taught. They don't want people to learn about, oh yes, teach your children the fact that gay people exist, trans people exist, and they just want to do that. They want to live their lives just as this super privileged white male can. I have issues with that because they are trying to strip people of their basic human rights. Religion has no place in Parliament. You can be a religious person. Park it at the door. And by park it at the door, I mean do what Jean Chrétien did. Again, a lot of things he did I disagreed with. But the one thing that I thought, well, there's an honorable, decent human being. When he was asked why he stood up for same-sex marriage, he said, because I govern for all Canadians. They said, but you're French Canadian, you're Catholic. He goes, my religion gets parked at the door when I set foot in that office. I cannot have any religion at that office because I have to govern for all Canadians. And I have to speak up for a minority group of Canadians because no one else will advocate on their behalf. It is my job to do that because if I represent all Canadians, I have to represent all Canadians equally. So my religion gets parked at the door. My religion does not come into that decision. Laws do. Rights do. We have a lot of work to do, my friends. I know I sound like doom and gloom Lauren Green today, the voice of doom. But I need you to heed this warning. These are not good people. They do not have your interest in mind. All they want to do is rob you of your rights, your charter rights that were given to you by men and women who worked their entire lives to make sure we could have them. You are correct about that, Linda. They want to create a Canada that's composed only of them so that they will be the only Canadians. They believe they have the divine right over this dominion. They do not. They don't like the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms because it grants freedoms to every single Canadian in this country. It grants rights to everyone in this country, including those who are incarcerated. Canada is one of the few countries in the world where if you are in jail, you still get a chance to vote. If you are a prisoner, you still have the right to vote. Because you know what? You should. There was a time in my life where I thought, well, that's not right. And somebody explained to me why they should have the right to vote. Because the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms applies to everybody or it applies to nobody. Having the right to vote in a democratic society, the right, not a privilege. Driving your car, having a license, that's a privilege. Traveling around the world is a privilege. You are free to move about the country. How you do it is, well, that depends upon your privilege. You can walk to Toronto from Ottawa, but that'll take you a long time. So maybe you can afford a bus ticket. Well, maybe you want to fly instead. Well, having the privilege of being able to pay for that flight. People fail to understand the difference between rights and privileges. And part of our mandate here is to make sure people learn them. People learn basic civics. People learn the difference between a privilege and a right. Nobody's rights were robbed in this nation. If anything, we have more rights today than we've ever had. You don't believe me? When the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms was first enacted, same-sex marriage was not on the docket. There's no words in it that prevent it, which is why it is now a legal thing. Because the way the charter is written, it actually envelops every Canadian of every walk of life. But there are people who fail to understand that. And there are those who do understand it, but they want to change it because they want to make it in their image. And they believe their image is the Word of God. Well, look, you can be the most religious person on earth. You can be a pious individual. You can be a kind, caring Christian or a kind, caring Jewish person or a Muslim or a Buddhist or whatever faith and whatever deity you wish to worship. But you do not force it upon others, and you do not change rules to suit your religious doctrine. Religion has no place in law. Religion has no place in Parliament. None. And it is our job to weed out those that will do harm to others. It is our civic duty to vote them out because they've been voting them in with numbers, large numbers. Look at Alberta, for example, where a woman compared gay and trans kids to feces. These are not good people. They are not good Christians. They do not represent anything Christ spoke about. They change things to make it suit the narrative they wish to have. I read something yesterday about somebody saying that they were a Christian hedonist conservative. Christian hedonism was a term that was coined in 1986 by a Baptist pastor. I get what he's trying to say, but here's the thing. Hedonism is the pursuit of pleasure above all else. So you can't just take two words, slam them together, and make a new term when one is contradictory to the other. Christian hedonist conservative. One of those words does not fit in that sentence. Silly people all over this world. I like your comment there, Tim. Most religious man I know was the biggest leftist because he knows basic empathy. That, I think, applies to a lot of people. There are a lot of very good people in this world, but sometimes they don't have the voice. They don't have their voice heard. They don't have the voice to speak up. They don't have a platform such as this to speak out. The thing is this, that people will come after me for this. Go ahead. I don't care. Do you know why? Because I am on the right side of history. I have laws that support what I'm saying. I have a charter that supports what I'm saying. They say, well, if a law is unjust, we should change it. Yeah, we did. We did. That's why we have the charter, because we had unjust laws in this country. In my lifetime, it was illegal to be gay. It was against the law to be openly homosexual. That's not a good law. So we changed it. And who do we have to thank for that? Justin Trudeau's father. I read something yesterday from our friend Mark Borey that I thought was very interesting. Pierre Trudeau used to get hammered by incel right-wing nutjob MGTOWs, even though those weren't words at the time. He used to get hammered all the time, being accused of being a closet case, gay. I'm not going to use the epithets that they hurled at him. They did it all the time. And Pierre Trudeau's response to that, I thought, was quite brilliant. He says, tell you what, all the individuals have thrown those expletives at me. Let me spend an hour or two with their wives. I'm like, ooh, that, my friends, is what we call a home run. That is what we call a home run. I just have a new message here. Oh, yes, the Anita Polliver, Anita. I'm sorry, I don't know how Anna. I'll call her Anna because I think she oftentimes goes by that. Anna Polliver's tweet featuring an ad about her husband. I don't know if you saw it. It's this new ad that I'm not going to show it because I can't be bothered right now to listen to that nasally little prick. It was an ad showing him putting a puzzle together and then all kinds of different scenes talking about Pierre being a good family man who loves his wife and his child. They're trying to say he's the good family, the good Christian family man. Look at that Justin Trudeau. He just separated from his wife. It's an effective ad, and it will get his base riled up even more. And it's going to do what it's meant to do. But talk about going low. Talk about going low. There is no bottom for these people. There is no base. They want to play limbo? Well, hang on. The stick's on the ground. Let me dig a hole so they can go under it. Oh, yeah, they went that route. I'll put a link to it. I'm not airing it. See if I can find it here. I looked at it yesterday, and I'm like, it's very effective. It really is. It's a very effective ad. It's also disgusting, but it's very, very effective. And for damn sure, people who are on his side will even be more so on his side right now. Trying to find it here. If anybody finds it, please just send it to me in the chat or DM me on the Twitter, and I will put it together. I'll put it up for you. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh, that might be on his page. Okay, no, he's railing on. Of course, I'm on Skippy's page, and of course he's railing on. Oh, there we go. I found it. Okay, I've got it. Let me just put this link in the chat. Okay, and here we go. If you want to view this, I'm not putting it on our show. I'm not showing it. Period. I don't want to, but it's in there if you want to click on it and have a look. And it's titled "We Can Put the Pieces Back Together," and it shows him with his daughter putting a puzzle of Canada back together. And it ends with the tagline, "Bring it home, Pierre Polliver." What are you bringing home? What are you bringing home? I'll have to look that up, Linda. Thanks. Lisa has it in her latest talk. I haven't had a chance to get to it yet. It's been a busy 24 hours for me. And I have to head into the office in 5 minutes because I have an 8 o'clock meeting. So I'm going to cut this a little short. And it is a solo show today, only because Mr. Beaver, like I said, he had things he had to take care of at home. Sometimes life does that. So he was using a different computer, and he was able to log on, and I could hear him, but he had no camera. He was having some issues. I'm like, so he just clicked out because he like me is, if we can't give you something decent, we'll like let's just walk away, because we want to give you the best product we can and give you the good information, right? Give you the information that other people are not necessarily focusing on. other people being different media outlets, because we know that many of them in this country are controlled by right-wing Christo-fascists. But I don't need to rail on about that anymore today, because I think I've done it enough for today. So before I bid you adieu, I will say I want to thank our sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, CanadianTarot.com, and the Papermaster, who, like I said, there are 3 title sponsors, and they've been with us since the very beginning. And we do appreciate everything. They started with us before we even had our first product out. If you take a look at that little QR code that says TNEB right underneath my Rode mic sign, let's see if I can get that in there so it's fully on. Hey, Rode microphones, that's what we use. Rode mic, Rode mixers, Rode. It's Australian style, eh? If you want to scan the QR code on the screen, that will take you to our coffee page where you can get yourself some words that you can express to us and donate a couple of bucks. Keep us rolling. Keep this program running. It is expensive to operate this, believe it or not. I've had to, as I've said in the past, I've had to upgrade a ton of equipment, upgrade my bandwidth cost, which meant new modem, new router, new monthly expense. And with the pod page, actually, I'm going to be reaching out to a friend who offered to fund it for us. So that the pod page will be back up very soon. Ray, if you're watching today, I will reach out to you later on. We'll make the arrangements, and I'll just we'll set it up. So and thank you again for that kind offer, because I can't take on anymore right now. It's just getting too hard, and I don't need to explain to anybody the cost of living right now, how it's, even though inflation has slowed to 2.8%, groceries have not diminished. Even though the price of gas is less than it was last year, like the cost of oil, I should say, is less than it was last year, I'm not noticing any savings. Anyway, life is expensive and stuff gets in the way sometimes. And when you get frustrated, feel free to go to my ASMR for Mental Health channel. You can scan the QR code on the screen right now. And if you're listening, it's Polly's World 2005 on the YouTube. You can find it there. And it is my daily Monday evening live stream at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where I talk about mental health and how we can improve upon ours, and you can cope with things like anxiety and depression and some of the frustrations that those two disorders create. So, my friends, I thank you very much once again for tuning in and watching. We appreciate everything you say and do for us, because you do a lot more than you think. Your encouragement that we see in the chat and in your emails and your comments on YouTube and the Twitter DMs, they mean a lot to us. They really do. It makes us want to continue on and build this and make it bigger and better, so that more Canadians can get the true facts, which unfortunately not a lot of people are getting. And the thing is that we all understand. We all fully understand that we're busy. We have very busy lives. Not everybody can tune in every day at 7 a.m., which is why you can just pull it up on YouTube or listen to it on the podcast whenever you want. And unlike profit motivated main profit, of course, but we'll say whatever we have to say, and sometimes that'll scare off an advertiser. That's fine. We're still trying to get the facts out to you, period. And sometimes facts make us happy either, but we will always report the facts. And with that, my friends, I'm going to bid you adieu, because I have to get into the office. So thank you for tuning in this morning. I know it was short and sweet, and it was a solo program, so you had to listen to my voice drone on for 40 plus minutes. I apologize that we didn't have the back and forth with the calming, soothing voice of Mr. Beaver. I just gave you some doom and gloom today. Tomorrow, Mr. Beaver will be back, and we will have some, lighter news, along with diving a little bit deeper into the new controversy that is the Prime Minister of Canada trolling the MGTOW incels, right-wing nut jobs, conservatives, social conservatives, whatever the hell it is, by posting a photo of him and his daughter going to see Oppenheimer. I think it's a beautiful piece of work, quite honestly. I think it's a beautiful piece of work because he's basically flipping the bird to everybody a little bit more subtly than his father once did. All right, we'll see you. Take care.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Oh, hey, you're still here? Okay. I got two words for you and a piece of advice. The two words are moist. And I guess the second one isn't actually a word. It's a very small sentence, but this is for Leanne when you tune in later, Leanne. I am Batman. Words of wisdom today. You need to alert everybody of creeping Christian nationalism within our democracy. I put the thread in there. I'm going to put it in one more time. Click on it. Read the thread. Share it with everybody you can. People need to understand what is happening, because what is happening is not good. It's not good at all. Every single person in this country knows somebody who is either gay or trans or physically challenged or of a different faith than Christianity. And these Christian fascists or Christian nationalists that want to form a theocracy in this country will eliminate all of those people in one way or another. That's all I got to say for today. Take care. See you soon.